Willie. As you cast the spell, you sense a powerful energy quietly emitting off of the leather pouch. You see multicolored light. Welcome back, folks. Let's continue. After offering to do chores in separate groups to help Rosie and Dan, Dan takes Sweeney, Edward, and Jack outside.
I'll see you guys. Off to trim the hedges.
Have fun in the magic workshop, boys. Don't do what I would do.
Work hard, and we'll see you in a bit. Willie, Duke, don't blow anything up.
You got it. Have fun out there.
Later, guys. I point to Ivy. You stay with Pepe or sleep somewhere safe and close. See you, little one.
You got it! I fly out the door. Mr. Frog is still asleep, so I go crawl and hang on the ceiling of the outside area by the box cave. See ya!
Rosie leads Raoul and Willie to her alchemy and ritual lair down the stairs from the kitchen. As you two follow down the stairs, the room smells like mushrooms, copper, and grudges. Rosie's workbench is a disaster with purpose. Bottles, corks, handwritten labels that look like threats, and a big clay jug that gurgles like it's alive. A large black cauldron with dark bubbling contents takes center in the large room. Wonka and Raoul stand very carefully, two men who understand instinctively that the wrong joke could get them turned into soup ingredients.
All right, you help, you listen. You touch the wrong thing, you lose a finger.
Understood. I will help in the manner of a Swiss watchmaker. With a theater degree.
We're guests in your domain. And I've offended less dangerous deities.
I snort. Almost a laugh. I point at them. I'm letting you help because you brought the moon caps, you respected the grave, and you didn't try to improve my hut with illusions. Now, here's what you two will do. Label the potions in racks, grind basic components, stir the pot, stuff is thick, heat the kiln so I can dry some stuff and organize inventory. Work together so you can get it done faster.
Down to label? We can just go down the list.
Agreed. Let's see what we can do.
We go to the potion racks and carefully bring down the bottles. We take the glassware to the bench close by.
I see parchment, glue, quill, and ink nearby on a wooden table. I grab them and bring them to the workbench. I start copying labels and hand them to Duke when they are finished.
I do my best to cleanly remove the paper on the bottles as the stacks of paper start to pile up. We finish in about a half hour.
Standing close by to see if they blow the place down, I smile at their competence. I look over the bottles and nod in approval at the nice penmanship and the paper wrapping. Nice job. You seem to know your way around alchemical lab. I hand Willie a ledger. This is my inventory. Add what I have and circle anything you may find questionable. I have a feeling Jackie and her stupid boyfriend have been snooping around when we're not here. I have protections, but she magically hacks in once in a while, so I have to upgrade the enchantments. I'll be back in an hour. If you think something is dangerous, it probably is. Don't touch it. And you. I point to Raoul. Don't be sampling anything without my permission. I'll know. I turn my back as I head away. See you soon, boys. I walk up the stairs to do what I do.
We watch as she walks away. I slowly open the book and scan the pages. Whew, man, she has so much stuff. From basic to rare reagents, rare metals, plants, animal parts, soul essence. I haven't seen a well-stocked lab in a long time.
I'll keep a mental note for a little sample basket. I look at the pages over Wonka's shoulder. Most of these ingredients have recreational potential.
We can get high later, Duke. I'm curious about these substances.
All right, let's count them bottles. We sit back at the workbench, and I read off the potions.
I take note, and we quickly finish. Grinding. I look to a page in the book that is chaptered, Dust and Powders. We need gold dust, 10 pounds worth. So that's... I try to remember. Joe, how many coins is that?
Yes. 10 pounds of gold. That's 100 gold pieces.
100 gold coins. Well, Jack has our money. Maybe there's a coffer here. Joe, I look around the room. Do I need to roll, or you?
If this was a random room, I would. But since this is a friendly environment, and you have the graces of Rosie, you quickly find an open chest with 400 gold pieces. A small note nailed to the lid says for potions.
Ooh, jackpot. I take a burlap bag with me and start filling it. I'll return what I don't need if I'm over with my withdrawal.
I poke my head over the lid and look at the pile. Well, it does say for potions.
I look at the ledger. We also need boring beetle shells. Let's look.
At least they're not overly dangerous beetle shells.
I'm not going to restrict you guys unless you do something off script, so to speak, like robbery or potion tampering. Then you'll have to roll. And probably Rosie will plane shift you somewhere quite breathless. You find a 12-foot-long, boring beetle staked to the ceiling. Legs and half a wing are missing. Seems Rosie been grinding up parts as she needed them.
We look up at the giant beetle. Oh, shit. Good thing it's dead. I hope it is. Its brown, green, gray shell is dull. The bug's butt has a green-blue sheen.
I raise my cane and tap it. A hollow thud is heard as the hand grip hits. I think it's drier than a mummy sarcophagus.
Good. I reach up and grab the left wing shell and pull. It snaps off, and I have a 4-foot-long carapace in my hands, holding it like a plank of wood. It's surprisingly lightweight. All right, we got the gold and the shell. Let's get grinding.
For sure. We go to the table with the mortar and the mill with our goodies.
I have to break the wing down like kindling. I break it into small chunks, then they go into the stone bowl. I start hammering, up and down, like churning butter.
I lift the runner millstone and place a handful of gold in the furrows. I replace the lid on the bedstone and start cranking. It takes a few rotations before gold chunks start to collect in the gutter. I keep going until the coins are broken down. Then I regrind the nuggets back in, grinding to a gritty powder. I keep this up until it's nearly a talcum-fine dust. Man, my arm hurts.
I keep pounding and pounding until the bits turn to a dark, iridescent bug meal. Whew, man, that was a workout. I find some empty earthenware cylinders and bring them over. We collect and then clean the stone tools the best we can without washing them with soap and aqua regia. We did it! What's next on the list?
Stirring. I'm guessing the cauldron. On a wooden beam next to it is a large oar-sized wooden spoon. Or maybe it is an oar.
I grab the stirring paddle and work the tip into the non-Newtonian fluid. It's thicker than molasses in winter. Large bubbles creep up to the surface. Willie, I need your arms. This stuff is like quicksand.
I step up and grab the lower end. It has a dense fudge-like consistency. We're going to have to go in slowly. Once we hit the bottom, then we can whip it up.
All right, since this task is difficult, roll a strength check.
Clean 2.
I got an 8. That's below my 9 for strength.
You guys got it. It was a lower roll for that one. Continue.
Thanks. We ease the spoon down until we hit the cast iron. We start to stir. It takes a few minutes, but the sludge starts to get smoother as we whisk.
Stirring for a few minutes, we were satisfied with the liquid's viscosity. What's next?
Heat. I walk around the room until I see a kiln built into the wall. You got a lighter?
I do. We need some fire starter and some small stuff.
All right, Raoul. Roll a survival check to find the proper items. That's your wisdom or intelligence.
Rolling. 19.
Raoul, you look around and don't see anything useful unless you start breaking apart the room and furniture. Willie, you can give it a go.
Intelligence. 12.
Willie, you look in the general area and see a cabinet close by to the kiln. You open up the lid and find broken branches, shaved bark fibers, and small chopped logs. Probably there to keep pests out.
Here we go.
Right under my nose. I grab what I need and start the fire. In a few moments, it's burning brightly. Here we go. What's next?
Inventory. We counted the bottles, so we need to go around the room and count. I'll write and you call?
More than fine with me. We walk around like health inspectors looking for violations. We look over the fascinating things a hag would have in her laboratory.
Distilled ooze. Valley ogre toes. Hill giant toes. Mummified raven wings, bat fur, and snake venom. Hag snot. Okay, I'm curious. Powdered warts. Corpse fat candles. Graveyard dirt. Root of hemlock. Hag stones. Neat. Shrunken heads. Mirror of life trapping. Voodoo dolls.
5 jars of ooze. I look at the large toes hanging from a rope like horrific Christmas lights. Big and bigger ones. I call out. 7 ogre toes. 3 giant toes. 6 raven wings. 1 small bag of bat fur. I sniff it. Immediately regret it. Confirm bat. 2 vials of snake venom. 1 full jug of snot. You know what? Overall, not the worst lab I've seen. A earthen pot with dirt. The grave dirt. 1 jar of wart powder. 16 candles. 5 roots of hemlock. 1 hagstone. 8 shrunken heads. I avoid looking into the mirror. The mirror. It's there. And 2 voodoo dolls. One is of a wizard wearing a navy blue coat with tails. His vest is a tiger orange vest with geometric tiger stripes. There's a little Jackie. I look at the decently woven doll bearing her likeness. She really must not like her, or enjoys pestering her. Maybe the mage is her boyfriend.
Maybe. Looks like everything on this sheet is counted for. What's next? I flip the page. Okay, Raoul, you may want to cover your ears. When you go to the next area, ooze containers. Oozes. Shrieker mushroom. That's why you're covering your ears. Caged rats, mice, and a homunculus. Cool. Alembic and distilling apparatus. Jars of preserved specimens. Try not to let anything out.
Roger that. I cover my ears when I get to a small research lab in the corner of Rosie's sanctorum. I step further into the workshop. I squint at a twisted glass contraption of tubes and flasks. 1 alembic and distilling apparatus. I tap one of the coils lightly. Used for refining venom, making oils, distilling ooze. A faint green drip falls into a receiving flask. I nod approvingly. Operational. I move to the next section, a row of jars, floating shapes within cloudy liquid. Jars of preserved specimens. I shift slightly closer. Eyes. Multiple sizes. A jar labeled faintly, Cyclops. Another jar holds something unmistakably humanoid. Tentacles. I tilt my head. Assorted organs. Sealed. Lower shelf. Clay pots and corked vials with no labels. I lift one, giving it a cautious shake. Unknown powders. I sniff 1 cork and recoil slightly. Ashes. I squint at a thick one. Viscous liquid. Not opening that. A small clay pot shifts slightly. I freeze. There's a potted mushroom beside the station. Soft cap with large holes perforated on its cap. Its gills are thick for a good-sized mushroom. I hold my ears tight as I lean just a little too close. The mushroom shrieks. A piercing metallic scream. The creature in the birdcage covers its head, too. I jump back. 1 small shrieker. I rub my ears. Active. I turn toward the corner. A stack of small cages. 2 rats, 3 mice. I count automatically. Then I stop. There's a birdcage. Inside, a bat boy. Gray, clay-like skin, bulbous head, small leathery wings on its back folded tight, large, watchful eyes. Imp-like, but kinda sad. It grips the bars, silent. I stare. 1 small humanoid. The creature blinks slowly. A homunculus. I lean closer. Contained. The tiny being tilts its head. No sound. I swallow. Inventory noted. The creature points behind me. I look at the work table we cleaned off earlier. Something there, little guy? The critter is mute and keeps pointing at the table. Wonka. Our caged friend here is directing us.
I stare at the creatures as I finish my recording. I look at the table. Before we look, Joe, would I know what a shrieker and a homunculus are?
Great question. Willie, roll me an intelligence check. 1 for each creature.
Rolling 4 and 14.
Now look, Willie, here's the deal. You're walking down a dungeon corridor. Damp stone. Air thick, smells like a basement that's seen a few centuries. And you spot what looks like just another mushroom. And that's when you slow down, pal. Because a shrieker, that's not just fungus. No, it doesn't move, doesn't chase you, doesn't have teeth. But you step within, 10, 20 feet, that thing lets out a piercing wail like a fire siren echoing through the Underdark. And it's not screaming at you to hurt you, it's screaming to tell everything else you're there. Orcs, goblins, anything mean and hungry within earshot. See, it survives by being an alarm system. Feeds on moisture, decay, darkness. But it calls in the muscle, harmless alone. Dangerous because of who answers the call. Nature's little dungeon security guard. Smart in its own fungal way. Now the homunculus, that's wizard business, Willie. That's late-night laboratory stuff. Ink-stained hands. Strange powers. Maybe something you don't ask too many questions about. It's a tiny construct, about 2 feet tall. Leathery wings. Claws. Looks like a gargoyle that got into alchemy school. But here's the important part. It's bound to its creator. Linked. Mystically connected. It scouts. It spies. It guards the tower. Loyal. Completely loyal. Because it's made from the wizard's own life force. And if it dies, the wizard feels that bond snap. Takes damage. Real consequences. It's not undead. It's not summoned. It's crafted. Ritual. Rare components. Serious commitment. You don't just stumble across one. If there's a homunculus in the room, somebody powerful made it. And that tells you everything you need to know about who you're dealing with.
All right. An alarm shroom and a highly complex living construct. So, that's either Rosie's creation or... I look at the birdcage. Maybe it's imprisoned for a reason. Maybe it was spying on Rosie and she captured it and been experimenting on it.
Well, since Rosie said to report anything missing, and her mention of Jackie and her boyfriend, the voodoo dolls, maybe the Bat Boy is the boyfriend's pet.
Which would make sense why it's pointing to something. Maybe it's a key to the cage. I don't think we should release it.
The creature looks disappointed at your words, Willie. It holds its head down in hopelessness.
I walk over to the workbench. I rap my knuckles on the wood, hearing for the sound of an empty compartment.
I help, looking for any raised edges.
Since you two are looking together, aren't pressured for time, and know the general area to look, I am not going to ask for a roll. You find a pressure latch, part of the compartment itself. You press in and a lid pops up. Inside is a narrow leather pouch. Quite simple, really. What do?
Ooh, what do we have here?
I pick up the leather pouch. It's light and feels normal. I look to Willie. Should we open it?
Before we open Pandora's box, Joe, I cast Detect Magic. Let's see what's going on.
Willie, as you cast the spell, you sense a powerful energy quietly emitting off of the leather pouch. You see multicolored light, yellow energy with streaks of green, purple, and blue creeping from inside the pack, like rainbow smoke. The magic is chaotic, high-level magic. This is something quite peculiar.
Raoul, don't open that until we can identify it. That's some serious chaotic magic leaking out of that pack like plutonium. It's contained. Just don't open it. Yet. It has the high potential to be something big and juicy.
I gingerly hold the pack. Okay. Now I'm definitely curious what's in here. I look at the homunculus. You knew it was in here?
The homunculus shrugs. It then reaches with its hand, grasping for the leather pack Raoul.
I appreciate you showing us where this was. But I don't think we should give it to you. We have no idea what you are about.
I would say he was sent to grab it, or it saw Rosie put it in there one day.
The homunculus's face drops, body going slack in defeat. It then slowly raises its head, grinning with a mouthful of sharp teeth. The teeth retract into its gums and it starts to blow raspberries at you. It starts to thrash in the birdcage like a winged monkey, still with its tongue out. It then holds its arm out and gives you the finger. How rude.
Yeah, we're definitely not giving you this. Since this thing is connected to its wizard, maybe it shares Daddy's personality.
Good call. We can ask Rosie for answers. Who's Rosie?
My face drops. I am paralyzed with the sudden presence behind me. I heard nothing approaching us. Oh shit.
My blood runs cold. The sudden unknown voice from behind Raoul just reminds me of a true hag. One that will boil you alive in her stew just for kicks. We begin to turn around.
I laugh as I transform into my Roseanne persona. If I wasn't me, you too would be dead. I see the deck in Raoul's hand. Oh, I see you've been snooping around. I hold my hand out. Give it here. This is something you definitely don't want to play with.
I hand the leather case to Rosie. We did snoop, but only because that bat boy pointed to the table.
It's a fact. We finished the assignments, and Mr. Homunculus started motioning. So we looked, worked, felt around, and found the hidden compartment. We didn't open the pack. I detected the intense chaos energy leaking from it.
At least you had a little common sense. I walk over to Ferris's little spy. You thought you could get your hands on this? The little bastard sticks its tongue at me. You better behave or you'll get the hose again. It lowers its head, still angry. I turn to the boys. Jackie's boyfriend, Ferris. He set that thing in here to spy and steal my stuff. The nerve. That's why I brought my little screech cap to strengthen my hag security. I wink at them. I was invisible in here once I heard the alarm. Think of it like it was a shit test. You passed. Nice job. My apprentices.
You're welcome. I haven't spent this much time in a functional lab since I last saw my mother. It was certainly a treat.
It was amazing. I haven't seen this many psychoactives all together since my early days traveling with my master and Bill. We did complete everything to our best effort. We have the fire going, inventory is complete, the cauldron is stirred, not shaken. That's some thick stuff there. And we have your ground beetle and gold dust. And I have a question. What's in the case? Willie joked about Pandora's box, but it can't be that bad. Right?
I look at Raoul. Should I tell them, Joe?
It's your stuff. Why not?
All right, you two knuckleheads. You see this little leather pouch, yeah? Looks innocent, right? Like it's got loose change and maybe a peppermint from church in it. Wrong, this is the deck of many things. And before you start acting like it's some cute little tarot set from a mall kiosk, let me tell you something. This thing, it was forged with artifact-level magic. Not hobby wizard nonsense, not apprentice in his mother's basement magic. We're talking planar energy, cosmic balance, the kind of enchantment that makes gods look up from lunch and go, oh great, who shuffled that thing again? It's 22 cards. That's it, 22. No extras, no coupons. Every card rewrites reality the second you flip it. You don't roll for effect, you don't negotiate, you declare how many you're drawing, and then reality signs the paperwork. Now listen close. Some of those cards, they make you richer than a dragon's retirement fund. The gem card dumps jewels in your lap. The sun hands you experience like it's candy. The moon gives you wishes, actual wishes, capital W. The kind that fix death, undo prison dimensions, patch up your bad decisions. But then, you got the other ones. The void, soul gone, body breathing. Congratulations, you're furniture. Dungeon, extra dimensional prison. No saving throw, you're boxed like leftovers. Skull, death itself shows up and says it's just you and me, sweetheart. Ruin, everything you own evaporates. Hope you like starting over. And here's the kicker. You don't get to peek. You don't get to test one and put it back. Once it's drawn, it fires, like a magical shotgun pointed at the campaign. Now, who made it? Nobody knows for sure. Some sages say a cabal of archmages built it to study fate. Others say it was a bored gods experiment in let's see who deserves power. Personally, I think it was invented by somebody who hated parties and wanted to watch them implode. Because that's what it does. It doesn't just reward courage, it magnifies who you already are. Greedy, it punishes you. Disciplined, it might crown you king. Divided, it eats you alive. And the worst part, you'll want to draw. You'll sit there thinking, just one card, and that's how it gets you. Because one becomes two. Two becomes, well, we survived that one. And next thing you know, you're arguing about alignment shifts while somebody's soul is in a jar on another plane. So here's the deal, Raoul. You draw from this, you're not playing a game. You're signing a contract with fate, and fate does not offer refunds. Now, do you feel lucky?
Are you? Giving that to us?
I look at Raoul seriously. That is some wild stuff there. We should share this with the boys to even the odds.
I look up, thinking. After a moment, I give the pack to Raoul. Take it. That's more of a liability in my hands than to you guys. I do have one condition. If you draw the gem card, it's mine. I want those gems. And if you can, ask for the big one. I wink towards the ground at Joe. But seriously, I would have more people playing to help share the wealth and the burdens. You can find yourselves in very bad places. So be careful.
I hold the pack like it's a nuclear bomb. I pet it gently and smile. We'll have some fun with this, I hope.
Unbelievable. We have a cosmic guillotine / slot machine. Big prizes, huge losses. You better keep that safe. Duke.
Surely. I place the deck pack in my pocket.
All right. I snap my fingers and a huge basket full of herbs, flowers, and plants appears on the workbench. I was out picking and this is what I got. Organize them and hang them up to dry while I go over your work.
Yes, ma'am. We lower the basket down and start separating and bunching up the herbs.
We then hang up the plants on strings laying out from the rafters like clotheslines. It takes a couple minutes.
I walk over to the cylinders filled with the boring beetle shells and the fine gold powder. I grab a handful, letting it run through my hands. Nice and smooth. Smiling, I look through the ledger. Seems like no one's been here since Bat Baby showed up. I walk up to the voodoo dolls of Jackie and Ferris. I squeeze them tight. You two are so annoying. I then look at the kiln. Nice. The hanging herbs over the cauldron give the place a nice touch. Maybe I could be on the main cover of Hut Solaire's magazine. Come here and sit. I call to Keith's kids as I go to sit at some chairs and wait.
On our way. I quickly walk through Rosie's lair like an intern delivering coffee. Whew. I sit down.
I saunter over. I sit between the two. What's up?
All right, Willie, let me tell you a story. One night, the bitches and I were brewing some bomb.com. Wendy was late, joined us and said she forgot the scroll. Nancy was like, why did you even show up? We start arguing. Wendy pulls out the scroll. Classic. She baited us so hard we cackled our lungs out. We were laughing so hard because we were going to kill her if she did forget it. And she knew that. Then, shouting, burn the hags, burn the baby eaters, burn the house. We were found out. Fuck! Your dad was playing jams for us that night. Times were so cool back then. He liked our crazy hag sass. He too hears this shit. Having to deal with dumb fuck yokies for years, centuries. We glanced and awakened our fey magic and game faces. Cloud kill, anyone? Maybe we could show them how many fireballs it takes to incinerate an entire village. Oh, I admire your father. About 20 or 19, Keith holds us to wait. What a gentleman! Protecting us sweet old hags from a bunch of medieval rednecks. Your dad, like a man, took charge and walked out the door like a bad boyfriend, leaving the damn door open but looking good in a leather jacket. Your dad walks up to face the punk-ass villagers and holds his ground. The local priest is talking shit that we took their babies or something. Keith whips his guitar, casting gust of wind, pushing the lunatics back. Then, your father did the coolest thing that I've seen in a very long time. He starts to play his cursed guitar. containing a soul of an elven minstrel. Then allowing Keith all the perks of musical magic. A magical musical staff twists and blooms color as it ribbons through the air. The sound staff bleeds color like a rapid mist. Keith casts prismatic wall. This spell not only protects him, but unleashes all elemental damage, status effects, and other fun stuff. Blindness, petrification, poisoning, teleporting, acid burns, real burns, frost burns, and electrical burns, all the burns in the world and beyond. Burn, baby, burn. When the Yokis figure out that walking through a rainbow wall wasn't the best idea in the world, they scatter in a panic, most running back to their village, some right back into the prismatic wall of death. What a bunch of dumbasses. As they hightail it out of there, Keith, our hero, watches them flee. And that's the story on how your daddy saved this sweet old hag. We could have done it, but it was fun watching him kill everyone with music.
That is some display of power.
Wow, our dad could do all of that? Isn't Prismatic Wall an 8th level spell?
That's what the guitar was all about. You boys thought it was just an instrument, just strings and wooden applause? No. That guitar grants access to spells that even minstrel bards can't normally learn. Not in any college, not in any royal conservatory, not in Candlekeep. It sings spells from somewhere else. But power like that, there's always a price. Your dad didn't just practice harder. He didn't just break through. He sold something. And what he sold was his soul. Now, don't misunderstand me. He got what he wanted. Fame, power, crowds screaming his name, influence that bent kings and devils alike. The magic in that guitar could charm armies, could open dream gates, could pull things from places that should stay closed. But then the Brass Lament called, and when that song calls, it doesn't ask twice. The pact he made, he never fully discussed who it was with. Not to me, not to anyone who lived long enough to press him on it. Music isn't just sound, boys. It's memory, it's identity, it's emotion-made spellcraft. When you play something that moves a crowd, you're shaping thought. And in the dream world, thought has weight. And that guitar, it bridges something. And I wonder, who were your mothers? Who did Keith love to make you boys? Because pacts tied to dream magic don't just bind the signer, they echo. They resonate through bloodlines, through passion, through art. If that guitar was forged in a deal with something that feeds on music and dreams, then the women he loved matter. Were they mortal? Were they touched by something else? Were they muses or emissaries? Because if you're more than just his sons, if you're harmonics of that pact, then the Brass Lament didn't just call him, it's calling you.
Oh, mine? Oh, mine's quite simple. Delightfully simple. My mother had a very easy life in Waterdeep. Practical woman. Very tidy, very punctual. The sort who could organize a dragon's hoard by color and have it dusted before luncheon. Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins?
Yes, that Mary Poppins.
Sentient umbrella. Gloves. Shoes polished to a shine you could check your moral alignment in. She believed in structure, in presentation, in arriving precisely when she meant to. She didn't raise me with lullabies. She raised me with discipline and wonder measured in teaspoons. People misunderstand her, you know. They think sweetness, they think sugar and song. But that woman understood power, subtle power, the kind that rearranges a room without anyone realizing they've been rearranged. In Waterdeep, she was respected. Advisors listened. Magistrates adjusted schedules. Trade disputes resolved themselves after tea. She never shouted. She didn't have to. And magic? Oh, she knew magic. Fireballs and thunder, elementary. She knew those. But hers was domestic inevitability. Enchantment folded into routine. A spoonful of correction. A perfectly timed word. A bag that carried precisely what was required. So yes, I had it rather easy. I was taught that presentation is power, that precision is kindness, that delight is control. If Father made pacts with dream and song, Mother understood the mechanics of influence. Between the two of them, Well, I suppose I was always destined to appreciate carefully constructed chaos.
Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins. That's what we're dealing with now? Umbrellas and nursery discipline in the same sentence as soul-binding guitars and dream world pacts? No. No, no, no. That's worse. That's so much worse. You don't understand what that means, do you? Waterdeep isn't some provincial fishing village. It's a nexus, the crossroads of power. Lords masked behind smiles, wizards buried in towers, things that walk politely during the day and feed at night. And you're telling me your mother, your punctual, immaculate, spoon-measured mother, just happened to reside there, quietly influencing magistrates, adjusting trade disputes, rearranging rooms without anyone noticing?
Yep. And she was also a nanny for royalty and wizards, and anyone who could afford it.
That's not domestic charm. That's political sorcery. That's someone who understands leverage. And our father sold his soul for music that bends dreams. Music shapes emotion. Emotion shapes thought. Thought shapes reality in the dream world. So what happens when you mix that with someone who specializes in structured influence? You get children who don't just perform magic. You get children who are resonance. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Because if the guitar is a bridge to dream entities, and your mother was a master of controlled narrative, then us boys aren't random outcomes. We're design. We're harmonics in a long-term composition. And if there's something out there feeding on music, feeding on applause, feeding on longing, then it doesn't just want our father back.
Yeah, that clicks.
Okay. Hold on. You are telling me that we've got a soul-binding guitar tied to interdimensional dream entities, and the maternal lineage includes a precision influence operative out of Waterdeep? Ladies and gentlemen, that is not coincidence. That's infrastructure. Music that opens dream gates. A mother trained in subtle psychological recalibration, political manipulation through domestic ritual. That's not whimsy. That's long-term arcane conditioning. You think the dream world just answers random strumming? No. Frequencies matter. Bloodlines matter. Resonance matters. And let me tell you something about resonance. It stacks. You've got an artifact instrument designed to pierce the veil. You've got a pact never fully disclosed. You've got offspring born from highly specialized maternal archetypes. That's generational spellcraft. That's layered enchantment. That's what ancient cabals do when they want continuity without detection. You call it romance. I call it a strategic breeding program for metaphysical amplification. Because if the Brass Lament feeds on dream energy through music, then it doesn't just want talent. It wants lineage. It wants harmonics reinforced through blood. And the fact that you're all gathered right now discussing this means something's already aligning. You think it's random the deck of many things was drawn? That soul packs are surfacing? That dream references keep reappearing? No, this is pattern convergence. Somebody or something composed this long before you walked into the tavern, and we are mid-movement in the symphony. I'm not panicking. I'm saying we need to ask a very specific question. Who benefits when the final note plays?
Why, the audience does, Alex. And don't worry, Alex. You have your part to play. Now, Willie, please continue about Mary Poppins being your mother.
1 second, Joe. I have a closing statement to my original speech. You're right, Alex. Which means this isn't about rescuing a man from the Brass Lament. It's about interrupting a symphony that started before we were born. And I have a very bad feeling we're not the audience. We're the instruments.
Perhaps. Let's see what happens. Back to the backstory. Yes, witch by rumor, umbrella by reputation. Oh, Waterdeep loves its whispers. If a woman arrives precisely when needed and leaves before applause fades, they call her a witch. If her carpet bag holds more than it should, they call it sorcery. If nobles request her presence twice, they call it influence. She tutored and babysat for the children of lords and archmages, minded heirs who would one day command armies, corrected posture, corrected diction, corrected destiny. in small, careful increments. And she helped wizards and witches, yes, not as a subordinate, as a consultant, a stabilizer, someone who knew how to turn chaos into choreography. She traded experience for riches, knowledge for favors, favors for access. It was all very tidy. Then one day she looked at me and decided the world was not to be trusted with my education. So she taught me properly. Magic. Not the loud kind. The kind that alters perception before anyone realizes perception has been altered. Illusions. Not merely images, but expectations. Alchemy. Not just transmutation of matter, but of mood, of appetite, of desire. She said, if you do not shape your own narrative, someone else will happily shape it for you. And she would not have the world teaching me badly. So she taught me structure before spectacle, intention before impulse, control before chaos. Father may have gave me the sound that bends dreams. Mother gave me the discipline to aim it. Which means, if there was a pact involved, it was never blind.
I heard stories. A woman who flies when the wind's right. Not falling, not drifting, flying with intent, an umbrella held like a spear, balanced, ready, and a smile, the kind that ends an argument before it starts. That's not charm, that's authority. I also heard she could control monsters, not with chains, not with fire, with presence. Creatures that tear through battalions, settling into her word. That takes more than parlor tricks. And a seasoned plains traveler? That's serious magic, Willie. Planar travel isn't sightseeing. It's negotiation. It's survival. It's knowing what to say when something ancient asks why you're in its sky. Most wizards study their whole lives and still get lost between the layers. If she walked the plains with confidence, she wasn't just visiting. She understood the rules, which means she understood consequences. So if your father made a pact tied to dreams and music, and your mother knew how to navigate worlds beyond this one, you weren't raised by coincidence. You were prepared. And that makes this whole situation a lot more intentional than I'd like.
That's her. The most terrifying nanny alive. Oh, she never raised her voice. Never needed to. One look over the rim of her teacup and archmages reconsidered their life choices. Children behaved. Monsters behaved. Occasionally, governments behaved. She didn't threaten. She adjusted. A crooked spine? Straightened. A chaotic household? Harmonized. A rampaging creature from another plane? Redirected. And she always insisted it was for their own good. She once told me that fear is inefficient, control is cleaner, and she preferred clean. So yes, terrifying, absolutely, but precise, measured, intentional. She didn't just keep children safe from the world. She kept the world safe from what the children might become. Which means, if she taught me properly, she expected something.
Ha! Waterdeep! That explains the confidence. Anyone raised under those towers either learns to stand tall or get swallowed whole. No middle ground there. So you had a nanny mother who negotiated with planes and straightened magistrates like crooked shelves. Figures. Hey, Candlekeep boy, what about you? You got a story, or did you just crawl out of a book and decided to stay?
Read me like a book. Oh, I've got a story. Nobody just crawls out of Candlekeep. You earn your way out, or you get buried under footnotes. Candlekeep doesn't raise children, it archives them. Every corridor smells like ink and old ambition. Every librarian knows 3 ways to erase you politely. You learn early that knowledge is leverage, that secrets weigh more than gold, that if you read long enough, you start seeing the patterns behind the patterns.
My mother. She wasn't a nanny. She was a researcher, a historian. She died when I was young. I don't know what she was researching. Candlekeep keeps its secrets, and I was just a boy. They packed her notes away before I understood what they meant. Maybe it was dream entities. Maybe it was contracts. Maybe it was something completely unrelated. I don't know. And that's the part that bothers me. All I have are fragments, margins without context, warnings without explanations. Whatever she knew, she didn't get to finish telling me.
My expression shifts. Still hard, but listening.
2 priests put me in the local denier priesthood. Altar boy, scribe, ink before breakfast, prayers before sleep. I thought it meant truth. Then I learned it meant usefulness. They needed hands that wrote quickly, hands soft and small enough to flip through ancient tomes without destroying the pages, eyes that noticed patterns, minds that asked questions without asking them out loud. When I earned my purple robes, they said I was chosen. They said I had clarity. They said I could separate heresy from revelation. Then they sent me out on a pilgrimage. Looking back at it now, an investigative conversion scheme. That's what I call it. We were hundreds, young, righteous, certain. We weren't sent to understand. We were sent to categorize, to confirm what we already believed. Truth wasn't the objective. Compliance was. That's when I started noticing the margins again, the footnotes that didn't line up, the hymns that sounded slightly off. I kept my robes. I used to be optimistic, but then I stopped believing they meant what I was told they meant. Spark religious fever, or get snuffed out. That was the choice. So I wandered, through shrublands, dust, empty sky. One day a brigand cavalry rounded a bend in the road and charged me. Bator's Angels. Charming name, less charming people. They surrounded me. Steel, horses, smirks. Told me to give them everything I owned. I looked at my hands. I waved at myself. This is all I have, my robes and my stick. The leader, Horton, Herbert, something forgettable. He asked me why I shouldn't be killed right there. I told him if they did, plagues and fire would rain down on them. They stared at me like I'd finally snapped. Then I laughed. They laughed too. I told them I was a healer, that if they gave me a chance I could prove useful. They liked that, liked the defiance.
Spunky, I think they called me. So they brought me to their village, ramshackled, functional. They led me to a hut. Sick man, teen beside him. Hard to tell if it was a daughter or son. I healed him. And that was enough. They welcomed me. I healed horses, shared meals, taught children letters and basic math, general education, showed watchmen how to read birds and clouds for weather patterns, harvested in fall, stayed warm in winter, welcomed foals in spring. It was nice. I felt helpful, like I was doing something clean. I lived with them for a year. Then one day I heard shouting. A man beating his wife, beating his dog. Something in me snapped. I got in his face. Told him only a punk beats his wife and his dog. He headbutted me. I hit the ground. Then the village hit me. Again. And again. Until everything went black. If a Bator's angel hits someone, everyone hits that someone. Unity. That's what they called it. I helped them for a year, healed their sick, taught their children, and I was still an outsider, a useful idiot. That night they dragged me by horse back to the road where they found me. Didn't say much, didn't need to. Message was clear. We got what we wanted. Go home. I was unconscious. Freezing. But I didn't know it. The dog that man beat followed. Followed them. Followed me. Curled up against me when they left me on that road. Kept me warm enough to survive. That's why I love animals. That furry creature had more heart, more courage, more soul than any of those men. I knew it. It knew it. Morning came, dawn breaking slow over the shrublands. 2 men approached. My future. My salvation. They knelt beside me, checked my pulse, checked my breathing. The dog stayed right there, calm, like it had decided we were kin. The one I would soon know as Hunter healed me. Steady hands, no questions. Bill stood over us, watching the horizon, protective, practical. The dog licked my face. We named him Agar, and he never left my side, until he had to. Bill asked me to join them, said I looked like someone who'd learned something the hard way. Told me they traveled light, traveled free, lived differently, the Gonzo way. I was ready for a fresh start, for something that didn't demand belief or obedience, just motion. So I joined them, Hunter, Bill, Agar, and I. We traveled across Faerun. No banners, no robes, no conversion schemes, just roads, wind, strange towns, stranger nights. Maybe I'm not here because of cosmic design. Maybe there's no grand symphony tuning up behind the curtain. Maybe it's just chaotic chance. A beaten dog, 2 wandering men, a priest who stopped believing in structure. And somehow, that feels more honest.
That is chaotic chance. That's life bringing you back. Life is chaotic. Death is orderly. Usually. That's not destiny written in stars. Those were choices. Small ones, stacking up, and you're still here. Not because something composed you, because you refused to stop walking, and you're all the stronger and wiser from it. Your mother would have been proud. If that's not too much to say, I'm proud of you.
Oh, Raoul. Chance is rarely random. A dog stays, 2 wanderers arrive at dawn, a healer wakes. That's not fate. That's alignment. Not celestial alignment, human alignment. And that's much harder to orchestrate. And I don't think I could have managed that. Or I would be an entirely different person. I don't know how being without my mom would have worked out for me. I'm sorry, Raoul.
It's all right. I could barely imagine having Mary Poppins as my mother. I could see you as a altar boy, though.
I hope we can see her together. All of us. Rosie. She would love your lab, but probably would be obnoxious with wanting to clean everything to her standards.
No kidding. Well, guys, awesome backstories. Very dramatic, very educational. And since you're not useful, I might say. You want real help, not good juice help, not bandage your stupidity help. I'm talking real survival. I can make drafts that don't just heal you, they harden you. Potions that steady your mind when dream magic tries to unravel. Brews that anchor your spirit if something reaches for your soul. When the Brass Lament starts singing back, you won't fold. You'll endure. And it's not just drinks. I can enhance what you carry, enchant your items, turn a plain blade into something that bites through planar resistance. Stitch warding into your coats, thread counter hexes into your gloves. You boys want to play with artifacts and packs? Fine. Then we do it prepared. Because next time the music rises, we're not reacting. We're ready.
I like the sound of that. I'm game.
And the cost?
The cost? Ingredients I don't have. You bring them back and I'll teach you something worth surviving for. You're coming with me to the orc's former village. It's not a village anymore. It's a graveyard that forgot how to lie down. Undead wander the roads. Things crawl in the ditches. Blood soaks deep into that battlefield. And when enough blood soaks into earth, it wakes things that should not be awake. I need reagents from there, grave mold from shield rot, ash from a pyre that never finished burning, and something still breathing that shouldn't be. You gather your gear, sharpen what needs sharpening, pray to whoever still answers you. We leave before the light fades, because once night falls out there, it doesn't end quickly.
All right, we'll pin it here. Folks, thank you for listening to this Gonzo adventure and have a great week. Goodbye, and we'll see you soon.